Hey everybody, JT's Reborn here, and welcome to another edition of After the Movie. I'm actually in my theater parking lot right now, getting ready to go see The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's latest flick. I'm a fan of Guillermo del Toro. I love Pacific Rim. I love Hellboy, Blade 2, and some of his other stuff. I wasn't too big a fan of Crimson Peak. I thought it was just okay. But this movie looks like The Creature from the Black Lagoon if the girl was into the Gillman. So that's all I know. Don't really know anything else. I can't remember who's in it. But I'm going to go see it. Hopefully it's good. I'll let you know what I think about it after the movie. Going in no expectations. Hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised. So I'll see you all after the movie. Hey everybody, JT's Reborn here, and I just got done seeing The Shape of Water, and I'm here to give my thoughts on it. So, how was the movie? I really liked it. It's definitely Del Toro's best movie, I want to say, since Pacific Rim. I know that's, his last one was Crimson Peak, and then before that was Pacific Rim. But this one is definitely one I liked a lot more than Crimson Peak. Crimson Peak, I was just left the theater. I'm like, not really for me. But this one's a little more up my alley. Great performance by Sally Hawkins as the lead character. And basically, in this movie, she's a mute who works at like a government facility. It's set in like the 50s or 60s. I'm not exactly sure what year. I think it's the 50s. So this is a period piece. She works at this government lab cleaning. She's a cleaner, but she can't speak. And her neighbor is played by Richard Jenkins. He's an artist, a painter, and she bonds with him. Octavia Spencer's in it as her cleaning friend. And so she works at this facility, this government facility, cleaning things, does it every single day. And also we have Michael Shannon, who plays this guy named Strickland. And Michael Shannon does exactly what I wanted in this movie. Michael Shannon goes full Michael Shannon, crazy, psychotic. He does some fucked up shit in this movie, and I'm just like, yes, this is the Michael Shannon I want to see. Because Michael Shannon, whenever he goes angry, I immediately, I snicker a bit, but I love it. Because Michael Shannon angry is the best. Like, he goes full-blown, pissed off, rage mode at some points in this movie, and he's awesome. So, basically, with this movie, it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast, if, in that aspect where, you got the Gillman who's just being held at this facility. Of course, being government in these type of movies, they always abuse the creature, and she connects with him, via sign language. He can communicate with her. Oh, he definitely communicates with her in this movie, but they communicate through sign language, they communicate through music, and it's kind of like this very bizarre romance. It definitely gets really bizarre at some points in this movie. I'm not sure if I should get into spoilers at this point, but yeah, so she falls for the creature falls for her, and every day she's going back to work, she's, feeding it, she's caring for it, and then the government's going to try and kill it, and she doesn't want that to happen. She's got to escape it and send it back into the wild, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea with that. But, what stands this thing out mostly, the visuals. It's a Del Toro movie, so it's going to look great regardless. It's a very, very, very beautiful movie to look at. The casting, the acting, all of it's good. Doug Jones, who plays the Gillman, who also played Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. The thing with this Gillman, though, is it looks just like Abraham Sapien. I mean, there's some differences here and there, but it pretty much is identical to Abraham Sapien from the Hellboy movies. I mean, it definitely is a Del Toro-looking thing, because all of Del Toro's thing, if you could look at something that's, you're like, okay, that's a Del Toro thing, and you get that vibe with this movie. Like, the creature itself, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a Del Toro creature. Whenever, you just know by looking at it. Like, if somebody just showed me a picture of this thing and I hadn't seen this movie, I'd be like, oh, that's a Guillermo del Toro thing. It's his trademark style, and that you can tell what his creatures are versus, if somebody else directed something. But yeah, so, and he's pretty good. The Gillman doesn't speak, so he's not going out like Abraham Sapien. And, Doug Jones is good in this movie. He doesn't necessarily stand out. I think it's because the creature isn't given quite as much to do to really stand on his own in this film, as compared to Sally Hawkins, who is fantastic in the movie. And yeah, Doug Jones does a good job. He does the part. It's not one of those ones where you're just glued to the screen necessarily, where you're just wow, this is life-changing deal. When I watched versus something like in Planet of the Apes when I watch Andy Serkis as Caesar. Like, my eyes are glued to the screen, like, nonstop. Like, this is a bit different. Like, he's still very good, but, you know, not exactly, like, the greatest thing I've ever seen. But Sally Hawkins is really, really good, so I just want to stress that point. And Michael Shannon, I love Michael Shannon in this movie. Michael Shannon is Michael Shannon, and he's fucking crazy, and he's great. So there's some things I want to say, but I don't want to get into full spoilers. So you know what? I'm going to say spoilers from this point onward. If you haven't seen the movie, I recommend checking it out. It's kind of a limited release type movie, but it's great looking. The score is really good. It's kind of got like a French type vibe. It kind of like has a Ratatouille like score type vibe to it. And I love like the scenes of like the classical music. I think this is more of like, I'm trying to think what else to say without getting into spoilers. Okay, so I'm going to get into spoilers from this point onwards. So stop the video, go see the movie, or if you don't care, just continue on with watching the movie with me. Or what did I say? Nope, no, continue, watch the movie, come back to this video, yada, yada, yada. I'm not even making any sense right now. So I'm just going to get into spoilers. Okay. She has sex with the gillman. And it is, like, as soon as, like, that happened, I'm like, oh my god, are they going to actually go for it? Oh, yes, they do. They don't show it. Well, she gets naked and, like, she closes the shower curtains, and then you think, oh my god, she just had sex with that thing. Whoa. And then they do it again. Then she does something, like, later on, she's just like, I want to be with you. So she floods basically her entire room, like this bathroom. She, like, clogs everything up, and, like, it fills up to the ceiling, and she's naked, swimming around with this thing, you know, getting really, really close with it. I'm like, oh my god, she has sex with this thing. Whoa. I didn't expect that, and they do make a joke about it in the movie with Octavia Spencer, who also was good. You know, all good acting all around, but the standouts, performance-wise, are Michael Shannon and Sally Hawkins. Michael Shannon, Jesus Christ, like, there's a scene in this movie where he rips off his own fingers, and they're gushing and, like, squirting everywhere, and he's just going, he's just doing Michael Shannon crazy stuff, and there's he's just an asshole, but it's great. And, like, the final bit of the movie, like, he shoots all of them. I'm like, oh shit, Michael Shannon's gonna win. But then the thing, which they're trying to get back to the wild, gets back up, like, heals itself, and Michael Shannon's like, you are a god. Which, at the end of the moment, I'm like, okay, that's a cool moment, because this thing has, like, strange, bizarre healing powers. Like, if it touches someone, it, like, glows. But here's the thing. The thing was practically dying earlier, but it gets shot with bullets, and I'm thinking, okay, it's down and out. But then it gets back up, and I'm like, wait a minute, well, what was the rush to get it out here if it could just heal itself? You know, that kind of, like, threw me off guard. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty solid movie. It's definitely more of an artsier type movie. It's not necessarily, like, a mainstream movie. I think audiences would generally, like, enjoy this film, but it's definitely, like, off-key. You know what I mean? It's definitely more of, like, an artsier type movie, and if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit. I just saw this movie, and like I said, I'm still in the parking lot. I'm just trying to process what I saw, but I definitely liked it. Music, visuals. It's a great looking movie. Like, it had me invested the whole way through, and I just love crazy Michael Shannon. So, yeah, I don't know what else I could add to that. Yeah, but just go check out The Shape of Water. I think you'll like it. It's the better Beauty and the Beast movie this year. Like, it's definitely a lot better than the Disney one that came out. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. But Shape of Water, pretty good time. Pretty good. So I'll talk to y'all later. And until next time, see you later.